If you've been thinking about setting up a private limited company in the UK but you're not sure where to start, you're in the right place. You might be a bit confused about the company formation, how to handle paperwork and how to stay compliant. But by the end of this video, you know the exact steps to register your company, the real costs involved, what documents you actually need, and most importantly the ongoing obligations that most tutorials completely skip over. Now, I've helped quite some people set up UK companies and I see the same mistakes over and over again. People either rush into it without understanding what they're actually doing, or they're overthinking every single detail. The reality is somewhere in the middle. It's simpler than you think, but there are some critical things you need to get right from the start. Now, before we jump into the registration process, let's clear up what a UK limited company actually is, because this is where most people get confused. A UK limited company is a separate legal entity. That means it is not you, it's its own thing that can own assets, make money and pay taxes completely separate from your personal finances. The company first owns the income, not you personally, and the company then pays corporation tax on its profits. This is fundamentally different from being a sole trader where everything flows through your personal tax return. With a limited company, you're creating an actual corporation that can be owned by you instead. And why does this matter? Well, three big reasons. First, taxation. You'll pay corporation tax at the company level, then personal tax when you take money out. Second, liability. Your personal assets are generally protected from business debts. Third, banking and credibility. You can open business bank accounts, work with payment processors like Stripe, and clients often take you more serious. The key takeaway here is that a UK LTD is a real corporation with real responsibilities. It is not just a fancy business name, you're creating a legal entity that needs to file accounts, pay taxes, and stay compliant with UK law. Before you register a UK limited company, there are a few core decisions you need to make. Most of them can be changed later, but understanding them upfront will make the setup smoother and help you avoid mistakes. First, the company name. You need to choose a unique name that isn't already taken or too similar to an existing one. It also needs to end with either limited or LTD, both are legally identical, so this is purely for branding. Second, the directors and shareholders. A UK limited company needs at least one director and one shareholder. For most people watching this will be the same person, just you. The director is responsible for managing the company and the shareholders own the company. Talking about shareholders, when you register a UK limited company, you also form its share structure. This simply determines who owns the company and in what proportions. If you're setting this up on your own, the simplest and most common setup is 100 ordinary shares at £1 per share, all issued to you. This means you own 100% of the company and each share represents 1% ownership. The £1 value is called the nominal value. It does not represent the real value of the business, it's just an accounting figure used to define ownership and limited liability. If you then ever want to bring in a partner or investor later, it's easy to transfer or issue, let's say, 10 shares for 10% ownership. This way you don't need to restructure anything, and in general you don't need to worry about this too much. Fourth, the registered office address. Every UK company needs to have a registered office address in the UK. This is the official address where government and legal mail is sent. And here's the key thing to understand. This address is public and anyone can look it up online. So if you live in the UK, you could use your home address, but that means your personal address with your contact information will be publicly visible. Most people don't want their personal address to become public record, and it's also not what I recommend. That's why many founders choose a registered office address, which provides a compliant UK address and keeps your home address private. In the next steps, I'll show you how to form your company properly using a formation agent so everything is filed correctly and your privacy is protected from day one. So you could register the company all by yourself, but it's generally not recommended. When you go direct, you get no guidance on the process, no help with the statutory documents, and if you make a mistake, you're on your own to fix it. Plus, you still need to solve the registered office address problem somehow. Formation agents handle the company's house filing for you, provide a registered office address, prepare all your statutory documents, and most importantly, they catch errors before they become expensive problems. For this tutorial, I'm going to use First Formations because they're one of the most established agents in the UK and they have a package specifically designed for limited companies. Now, the cost difference between going direct and using a good formation agent is usually only marginal, but you get way more value and avoid the common pitfalls that trip up first-time company directors. So let's actually register the company. I'll leave a link to First Formations in the description, or you can go to buyhassle.com/firstformations. This is then gonna bring us to the homepage of First Formations, from where we can set up a limited company. And first we can enter in the name of our company to check if it's available. So I'm gonna do Studio Hassel and then click search. And as you can see, congratulations, this company name is available. We also see right here that they assist with opening business bank accounts, but I'll also show you how to do that later. Then we can click on choose a package. From here we then have three different options: the limited company, a package for non-residents, and for an LLP. Of course we want to go for the limited company, and then here you see three packages as well: digital, privacy, and all-inclusive. You can see the pricing difference is fairly small, and the minimal option I would go for is the privacy option. This also includes a registered office address in Covent Garden in London, which means your home address stays off the public register. This alone makes a big difference, especially if you work from home, you don't live in the UK, or you simply don't want your personal address to be searchable online. And for a relatively small price increase, you get the all-inclusive package. This also includes things like VAT registration when you need it, and pay registration if you plan to hire or pay yourself a salary, and the full company secretary service. This can make sense if you already know you'll need VAT, payroll, or a more structured compliance from day one. For most people watching this, the privacy package is the best balance, so I click buy now right here. Alright, then here we can see some additional options. Then next we have the ICO registration, and this one can be relevant depending on your business. In short, if your company collects personal data or stores client information, then you're usually required to register with the UK's Information Commissioner's Office, or ICO. So if you're running an online business, an agency, or do e-commerce, you generally need ICO registration service. You could do it yourself later, but having it handled during setup can save time and make sure it's done correctly. After this, you'll see a few free bonuses like Xero for accounting, financing offers, and website building tools. These really don't affect the company registration itself. You can explore them later if you want, but they're not required, so I'm gonna skip all of these. So then you simply want to click checkout, fill in your payment details, and complete the order, and this is gonna take you to the company details form. First, you again add the name of your company, and then you select your SIC code. These codes describe what your company does. And don't overthink this, you can have up to 4 codes and you can change them later. Just pick the one that best describes your main activities. I selected code 47910 for e-commerce. For the registered office, you use First Formation's London address that's included in the package. Here you also add the forwarding address for when you receive legal or company mail, so here you simply fill in your own address. Next up, we have to appoint ourselves to the company. So here you can simply click the add person option and then choose the position. I'm going to appoint myself as a director, shareholder, and also as PSC, person with significant control. This is usually just you if you own more than 25% of the company, and if you're the sole owner, you'll be the PSC. Then we need to appoint ourselves as officer. This is basically the director, but in the UK it's called like this. Here we then fill in all the details about ourselves and give our residential address. Now this address is not going to be used on any of the public records, so it stays private. For shareholders, if it's just you, enter your details and decide how many shares you want. I usually recommend 100 shares at £1 each, that keeps the math simple. Then there are just a few more personal questions you need to answer and your application is complete. Review everything carefully, then submit. First Formations will receive your application and submit it to Companies House. If you submit it on a weekday, you'll typically get your company registered on the same day or the next business day. Company registration in the UK is pretty fast. When your company is approved, you receive several documents. Your certificate of incorporation, this is proof your company legally exists. Your company registration number, or CRN. Your memorandum and articles of association, which are basically your company's constitution. Share certificates showing your ownership and shares. Your official business and correspondence address in Covent Garden in London, and your statutory register with all the initial entries. You also get access to First Formation's online portal, where you can manage your company's details and access documents anytime. So great, the company formation has been completed. Now let's talk about what happens after your company is registered, because this is where a lot of tutorials stop. First, the taxes. Your UK company will pay corporation tax on its profits. The current rate is 19% on profits up to £50,000 and 25% on profits above £250,000. Between those amounts, it's tapered. You can then pay yourself a salary out of the company, which will be taxed with personal tax rates. You can also take dividends out of the company. The first £500 of dividends each year is tax-free. Up to £50,000 dividends are taxed at 10.75%. From £50,000 to £125,000 dividends are taxed at 35.75%, and over £125,000 dividends are taxed at around 40%. Within a few weeks of incorporation, HMRC will send you a unique taxpayer reference or UTR number. This is your company's tax ID and you'll need it for filing returns and dealing with HMRC. For annual compliances, your company has 3 mandatory filings. First, a confirmation statement to Companies House. This confirms your company details are still correct. Second, annual accounts showing your company's financial position. And third, a corporation tax return to HMRC. Miss the deadline and you'll face penalties that can start at £150. The good news is that First Formations also assist doing these filings, or you can use accounting software to manage them yourself. For this, I recommend Zoho, which is approved by HMRC, so I'll leave a link down below. You also want to open a business bank account. This makes it easier to work with UK clients and is often required for payment processors. You can go with traditional banks like Barclays or HSBC, or digital banks like Wise and Revolut. The application process is usually online and you need your incorporation documents and your ID. I'll leave links to the banking options I recommend down below so you can choose what fits your situation best. Okay, now let's talk about the cost, because this is where a lot of people get surprised. For the initial setup using First Formation package, you're looking at around £175. This includes the £100 company's house fee, the registered office address and all the document preparation. Annual recurring costs are where you need to budget carefully. The registered office service is about £39 per year, the confirmation statement filing is £34 per year, and if you use First Formation for the annual accounts and tax return, that's typically £200 depending on the complexity. So your total annual running costs are roughly £300 to £500, assuming you keep things simple. If you hire a full service accountant, add another £100 to £200 per month. So for most solo founders, a UK limited company is very affordable to run. So that's the complete process for setting up a UK limited company online. By using First Formations, you stay off the public record with your own address and information, and they help you stay compliant with your limited company. I've left links to First Formations in the description, along with some other resources like the accounting software that might be helpful. If you have any questions about any part of this process, drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to help you out. If this video was helpful, make sure to subscribe because I've got more videos coming on UK limited tax planning. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.